Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Dave Adams. So you want to be a professional in web development? This is the video for you. Let's get right into it. So one thing I want you to know when it comes to web development, when it comes to being a professional, the underlined word is efficiency. And efficiency has to do with time, how fast you can complete your tasks, but accurately. So I'm going to show you that with some tips and tricks. So when I open Visual Studio Code and I'm creating my HTML page for the first time, I use my exclamation. So that's an Emmet abbreviation and it creates the basic HTML template for you. I'm going to take the side options off. Yes. So this is our page basically. So with Visual Studio Code, that's what I'm using right here. There are so many shortcuts. Originally, when you're creating a tag, you do the angle brackets and then you close it. But even with that, it completes it for you. But now you can do that by just typing the word, the tag you want. So div, for instance, right? So let's say I want to create multiple divs. I do div and I use the asterisk by the number of divs I want to create at a time. And that's 5. So when I'm done, you should note that you should see this Emmet abbreviation and this tooltip over here trying to depict what exactly is going to happen. So we have that. You can either click or press enter. So now I have 5 divs. This will save you some time. Also, if you wanted to create a class, a div with a class, all you have to do is type div and use the CSS selector for classes. So div dot maybe first pro. So that does that for you. Same way, if I undo that and I multiply by 10, it will create 10 divs with the class of first pro. So that brings me to the second tip, which is selecting multiple instances at once. So what you do is highlight the first instance and then use the shortcut Ctrl D. So you press that as many times until it selects the last one. Let's say you're using a framework. So you want to add a certain class to apply an effect. You do that. Maybe I want to apply a margin top 5. Let's say, for instance, I'm using Bootstrap or Tailwind or something. So instead of having to type empty-5 individually throughout all the divs, you can just do it at a go by selecting multiple instances of the same div. Exactly. So another thing, another shortcut that's there, you can have your div, you can have your brackets, and then whatever you want to go inside. So let's say a good example would be to use the paragraph tag. So paragraph, this is a quick video. So you should see this. When I click on it, it should create a paragraph with this for me. So these tips over a long period of time add up to save you some time, you know. It feels like you're just saving seconds, but when you're doing a long project over a long period of time, these small savings add up to become a big saving. Also, I recommend a few extensions, you know. These help out a lot for me. So basically I use Tailwind IntelliSense when what's going on? Yes. So this helps me identify my various Tailwind classes when I'm applying them. It gives me shortcuts, and I realized that it even helps with normal like CSS files. So if I created my CSS file style.css, right, and then I link them obviously using my link CSS style.css. Exactly. So let's say what class. Let me give it a class, big hyphen paragraph. When I'm done, I'm going to copy it. So copy, paste it here with my period in front because it's a class. and I'm going to define my styles. I'm going to say maybe font size should be 35px, right? Now, when I go, let me see if this will work. Let me quickly clean this and type big hyphen paragraph. Okay, it did not work this time. So sometimes it does work where when you hover over it, it shows you the properties, or sometimes it comes as an option. So Tailwind IntelliSense is very helpful. And so, yeah, so let me open my live server. Good. So that's my text right there that I wanted to talk about. So let's go more into the extensions. What other extensions do I have that saves me time? Yeah, I think Tailwind IntelliSense. Okay, there's live share here. So live share helps you collaborate with other users as well. Live server, that's what I'm using now, where you do not have to reload the page every time you make a change. You just save and then it updates in your browser. So yeah, basically. Okay, so that's it for like the shortcuts that I mainly use in VS Code. Also, with web development, you have to keep in mind that you're constantly learning. It takes a lot of time, you know. I mean, this point cut across a lot of IT fields, but you really need to invest into learning and even more time into practicing. So one tip I can give you to become a pro is to watch like all the big channels. Like this one is also a good channel, but basically what I'll say is, as you're watching, don't just watch like a movie, because you're not going to have anything stick in your mind. You want to practice as you watch. So the person does something, you pause, you try to replicate what the person did, and you'll be learning as you go, you know. So basically, these are some of the tips. I invest time into learning new things every day, and don't limit yourself. Don't say this thing is too big, it's bigger than me, I won't be able to learn. I mean, I've done it myself and it's delayed me. Just take a deep dive into the deep waters, explore, drown, you come back, you play around with things, you get familiar, and you get better as you go. So yeah, basically that's this video for today. These are some tips that I have to become a pro if you're a novice. Yeah. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.